Imagine if that was your nipple. Stick around, we got a lot of work to do. Wonderful! One project down, like 5 million more to go. Let's go.
All right, friends, welcome back to the country. We got a bunch of jobs to do this week on the homestead.
Let's go. So we're over on one of my neighbor's farms, and he's got a big pile of mulch. They got some willows cut out from the stream area last autumn, and the mulch is still here, and my garden needs it. So this field can get a little soggy. Try to avoid the depressions. Keep rolling. It's supposed to rain later this afternoon, but it's been dry for about a week, so should be good. Alright, I'm just gonna back this thing straight into the pile. Whoa! There go the sheep. And then we're gonna grab a shovel and a bucket and start loading. All right, let's go. Storms are coming.
So why am I shoveling into a bucket? Well, it's honestly the most practical way to do this job, filling a trailer full of mulch by yourself. A shovel doubles as a guitar, and there's a reason this is free, because I have to do it myself, you know what I mean? I don't have a digger or anything like that.
All right, I'm happy with that. That's a pretty good load. So we'll go see how far this goes. We got to cover all of those pathways in the expanded garden area, as well as all of the raised beds in the original garden. And then I'll probably come back and do another few loads and just mulch like everything around the house. Depending on how much energy I have, all of the fruit trees in the orchard, they could definitely use it. And there's a lot of mulch here just composting, so gonna put it to work.
All right, so you guys remember the little back garden area? We're in the process of making it nice, and we're doing a no-dig garden. We're using old cardboard to lay down for pathways, and then we're gonna kill all the weeds in there naturally and have a beautiful little extra garden area. So first things first, I'm cutting everything to size and really just trying to fill every little hole with cardboard.
I was on my way. Best travel song, Ramble On, Led Zeppelin. Ooh. When this song drops, Jimmy Page gets on the solos. So good.
And just creating like a uniform mat of cardboard and then covering that with mulch. And the mulch is gonna keep moisture in the middle of the summer. It's going to block out light to all the little weeds and kill them naturally, which is good. And then it's gonna retain moisture and structure for the soil for my potatoes, which I planted with my daughter, and I definitely want them to do well because I want to harvest them with her as well, because harvesting potatoes is like legitimately fun. It's like you have no idea what you're gonna find.
All right, we're like 2/3 of the way done with that load, and it's only really covered that much. So I got a feeling I'm gonna spend the next good while shoveling mulch. Always a good idea to just put a drop cloth underneath the edge of the trailer, because inevitably you lose quite a bit getting it out of there, shoveling it out, raking it out, and then this way you can just pick this up and put it right in there. Save yourself losing all of that.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Let me know what you think in the comments. Obviously, there's still a little more work to do back there, but hey.
Cooler morning today. We had rain overnight, which is good because it's been pretty dry, and we are on rainwater. But first things first, Gotta feed this little milk monster over here. Lammy the lamb. She's growing pretty well. She chugs milk like literally Frank the Tank status. I'm just gonna do one. But it's actually gotten to the point where, like, if she hears the door close, the front door close, she's going hard. If you want silence outside, the first thing you gotta do is feed the beast. Look at her go. I mean, imagine if that was your nipple. Now you actually understand why mother sheep only let those lambs latch on for like 2 or 3 seconds at a time, because it's rough on the nips, you know? Okay, all done. Chickens. Check in on Charlotte, who's been sitting on a pile of eggs for a week or two now. What's up, Roger? Whoa, dude, good morning. Hello, ladies. The new chickens. Hello, Sofia. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Todo bien? Okay, here we go. Some for you, some for you, some for you. Kind of have to spread out the feeding stations because, you know, some of the birds are bigger than the other ones, and the big birds, if all the food's in one place, will push the other ones out, but get there. Now the major challenge, I think this week with animals on the homestead is I got to figure out a permanent solution for where I'm putting the ducks, at least for the time being. Now, the internet has said that you can keep Muscovy ducks with chickens. But right now the ducks, because of their vulnerability to predators, I've been putting them in a little cage in the garage and then just kind of moving them in and out each day. But like, that's not really a long-term solution. Yeah, you know, stoats, ferrets, weasels, mustelids, which is the scientific name for the genus, the family of furry, ferocious little mustelids, because they're musty, because they stink. You can literally smell them. And I'm pretty sure we have one on the property down in the like wild paddock, because I can smell. It's like a sweet, stinky combination. Kind of smells like something dead with like rotting fruit. And I can smell that down there. I think moving forward, I'm gonna have to start setting traps for predators across the property. Traps are expensive though. And you know, New Zealand is in a unique position where so many of the native bird species have been decimated by the introduction of these mammal predators. This is my favorite part of the morning. Oh, she was about to lay. Sorry, Mia. Okay, didn't mean to interrupt. You do you, lady, huh? You go back in there, you lay in there, lay for me, okay? All right, so the next thing we gotta do is go check on our broody hen, Charlotte. She's a Favorelle, and she made a nest, a wild nest, on the other side of my fence. So I have a handful of bird seed. I gave her some water last night in a little cup I made from a water bottle. Gotta be careful not to, oh. And then we'll just give her some food, check on her. Hi. right? How you doing? Good morning. There you go. Doing a good job, Mama. It's really interesting because she's kind of almost in this quasi-hibernation state. Like, she's not moved off of the nest for a week or more. If I weren't feeding her, I think she would leave the nest like once a day real quick just to try to find something to eat, drink some water, and then get right back on it. But because I'm bringing her food and water, she's just locked in. So we'll find out, you know, if Roger the rooster is virile in a couple weeks, if some little chickens hatch. And if they do, then we have this whole new awesome fun challenge, which is keeping them alive because the chicks can't be with the rest of the chickens. So it'll just be another thing to figure out, but subscribe and stay tuned so that we can get over that little challenge together. So to kind of clarify, a lot of you watching don't really have experience with this type of like land management using fire for controlled burns. And basically, I'm not just like willy-nilly doing this. I go onto a website called Check It's Alright, and that's run by the local fire agency, and you can just put in your address, the day you want to do a burn, and it'll tell you whether or not it's low risk, medium risk, or even if it's allowed, because a lot of the year, especially through the summer, is no fires, no open fires. So it's really important, especially at this time in the spring after winter. There's a lot of downed branches, there's a lot of sticks and twigs and leaves and all sorts of stuff from that's been blown around all winter, and you have to pile it up and you have to burn it. It's the most practical and renewable source of getting, you know, all of that, all those nutrients from the trees back into the earth, keeping a property tidy, keeping pastures, and just making everything work. So you got to do it. Today is low risk. It's not going to be really windy. I'm up really early. You always have to be prepared with what you need to extinguish. I got a big bucket of water. There's a pond right there. I have a chainsaw if I need it. I got a big shovel, a rake, and that giant stick. So it's something that I do a couple of times a year, and every time I do it, I take all the precautions to be as safe as possible, because obviously, especially coming from California, I know just how quickly any fire can get out of hand. And so I always make sure that the day that I decide to do it is the best day, that I'm prepared to put it out if I need to, and I never let it get too big. I will happily spend a couple of hours here just slowly feeding this fire and keeping it small, instead of piling everything up at once and lighting it and having it get huge, and then, you know, a big gust of wind comes and you lose control of that. So it's important to, especially in the morning, to do it early, because you can see that there's still dew on the grass, which is really important because it hasn't rained now since that big storm for about a week or more, and it's starting to dry things out. That's why in the morning it's the best to do it, because you have dew on the grass, which makes it so, you know, the risk of things getting out of control is way lower. So wake up early, do it early, feed the fire slowly, you know, and be responsible. While I'm down here keeping an eye on that, I might as well use the time productively and do some pond management. This pond, you might not even be able to see it. It's kind of become a bit of a swamp. You can see some pukekos over there. I've already started kind of just taking a rake and pulling some of this out, but grass is so incredibly good at colonizing spaces. It's literally growing across the top of the water, and it's putting down roots. Look at how long these grass roots are. It's crazy. Look at that. So it will just do whatever it can to get down to the soil down there, but it doesn't even need it. Eventually, in the summer, usually this pond dries out fully, and when it does, if I have time this year, I'd really like to install some edging, go down to the bottom, maybe even put like a kind of pond tarp down there to stop the grass growth, put edging around the pond, then do some planting and make this nice instead of just like this grassy little swamp. But until then, I'll do what I can, which is taking this rake and raking the edges. So
sometimes out here there is no other way to do it but to go through it, and this is definitely one of those jobs. Muck raking, literally. But if I don't do it, like, the grass will colonize the whole thing, and then my sheep won't have water to drink in the middle of the summer in this paddock, and it just kind of looks bad. I don't like little grass islands taking over water. Maybe it's because I'm a Pisces. I'm like, I can't let the land take this water away. We need to rake it out. So I did as much as I could while tending that fire, but then I got tired and the fire was out. I extinguished it and we moved on to the next task.
this is exciting. I'm stoked. Those epic dwarf green beans, the purple pinkish seeds that I planted like a week or so ago. These are great. They're dwarf beans. So they're green beans, but they don't need support. They just kind of are bushy. They don't need to be like trellised or anything like that, which is great because you get green beans without all the extra work. But how cool are those beans? They're like purple and black, and they look awesome. I don't know about you, but I think that the act of planting a seed is so simple and yet so profound. Also kind of like a revolutionary act in the sense of like every time you plant a seed, kind of freeing yourself from the control of not having a say in your own food security and food autonomy. So like grow stuff. Plus it's fun. Gardening is fun. Gardening's good for the soul. It's good for the body and the mind.
In last week's vlog, I mentioned that all of the blue zones around the world, they had a lot of things different, but they had one thing in common. And the thing that they had in common was that people who regularly live to 100 years old all tend a garden. It is really, really good for you. It's a longevity hack in so many different ways.
Literally just yesterday, these weren't here, but guess what's up? Boom. Yeah, you can still actually see the exterior of the bean shell. Look at right there. So that's actually what the bean shell was like in, and then this is sprouting from the inside. Here's another one coming up, another one, another one, and another one, and a couple down there. So I'm pretty happy with that. I grew cucumbers in this area for the last like 2 years, and you're supposed to, you know, kind of rotate where you grow what every year or so that those nutrients aren't getting kind of extracted unevenly, because every plant uses different nutrients, and so you need to kind of like move them around. After you do that, you can plant peas and beans and stuff that bring nitrogen back into the soil. Yeah, that's good. I'm excited. Like, I was wondering when those were gonna pop. Kind of want to plant some more. I love green beans. I love beans. I love peas. Plant protein. If you're gonna do it, you gotta do it, you know? I love regular protein too. I love meat. I like meat and veg, you know? And if we're gonna do veg, we might as well do some with some protein. All right, this is the last of the wool from the sheep's haircut. This is all daggy, which means it's got poop and stuff in it, but it's super nutrient rich. And the wool acts as an insulator. The poo in the wool, when it gets wet, starts to break down, which releases heat. And so all of this, I probably should have gloves on, but hey, is going to get put into the garden. And I'm going to use this in the seed hot box. So the wool will help regulate temperature between day and night, It'll keep that heat in there warmer. That one's pretty poopy, so I don't know where I'm gonna put that. I might just leave that there. But yeah, this will help those seedlings. Hi. Also, like for the plants that really like warm soil to start to propagate and grow, I'm just placing those plants on top of bricks and the wool so that those naturally warmer substances that hold heat once the sun goes down will help keep the soil warmer, which will help these plants start to grow. I see watermelon coming in, basil's coming in hard. These pumpkins are probably getting ready to be, I mean, they are. Some of them need to be transplanted like now. I need to find a place to put them, which means I need to create a pumpkin patch, which honestly I'm pretty excited about.
I got some more soil from the store to build out some more garden beds. And then I needed to take care of this thing because I've been wanting to do this for a while. I had to fix a crucial aspect of it, and I didn't have the materials to do it.
Time has been rough on this target. I bought this in 2019. Needs a new cover. And supposedly you just slip it over and zip tie it shut.
Now, did I think that I would spend a better part of a quarter of an hour wrestling this target and literally trying to like make it fit into the new cover? No, I didn't. I thought it was going to be a lot easier than it was, but honestly, towards the end, I was desperate. I started kneeing this thing. I started kicking it, punching it, smushing it. I'm surprised I didn't end up on my back, like, I don't know, throwing it in the air. Who knows? This ended up being a lot more challenging than I thought it would be, but I had fun with it.
Oh my God. Ridiculous.
Okay, eventually I stuffed this frickin' thing into its new home. And then I could fill it all full of new holes.
So my daughter loves her horsey, and she may have had a little cuteness aggression on it because she decided to tip Horsey over this morning, and she stood on Horsey's head, and now Horsey's not feeling good. So we're gonna use one of my favorite products, expanding glue. What the hell would you do without expanding glue? Okay, so you take it, you shake it. Basically all you do is you put a bunch of it on and then you clamp it shut. Did your horse lose its head? Well, with Gorilla expanding glue, we can fix it. Did you accidentally decapitate your daughter's horse? Don't worry. Not a problem. A little bit of expanding glue. Expanding glue. The hell would you do without expanding glue? Now we just need to kind of shimmy it around until we get that nice lined up look. And bang, you get a jed clamp it, and you clamp it. Make sure that that's on there right. Good morning, Heidi. How are you, Heidi? The head
He's reattached.
Two temporary storage situations in the garage here. Number one, the 2 ducklings. I'm shuttling them in and out every day because I just don't really know what to do or where to put them yet. So I'm trying to think my way through that. Number 2, the tomatoes. We have a bunch of epic heirloom tomato plants and I want them to do really well, but the soil is still a little cold at night to put them in the ground. So I've had to transplant them all into different pots, and then I shuttle those out every morning, put them in the sun, leave them there, and then when the sun goes down, I put them back in the garage because it's warmer. They seem to be liking that, but it is a little bit of work in the morning.
All right, you guys. Well, it was time to do one of my least favorite tasks here on the homestead. To be honest with you, I guess I kind of make it worse than it is. Weed whacking, or line trimming as it's called. It's not that bad if you kind of like figure out how to get that little plastic wire situated right. If you do it wrong, it's all sorts of problems and you spend half the time just reloading the wire. But if you get it right, you can go for quite a while. Towards the end of this, I was starting to get it down. I don't like doing this, but it's something that has to get done to keep a handle on the property. And I think in the next episode, I'm gonna like load up, get ready, and I'm gonna take this thing on a massive adventure because there's some serious landscaping that needs to get done. But
just interrupting this vlog for 1 second to thank those of you who've already gone and purchased the new t-shirts. Couple of new designs. We have the Stay Curious, Keep Growing t-shirt, as well as the Paradise is Calling. And the Stay Curious, Keep Growing is available in a crew neck sweatshirt. All of these items of clothing are available in a bunch of different cool colors. Really nice. So if you head over to my website, alexanderayling.com/store, everything is available with a 15% discount at checkout. Use the code SHEEP15 to get 15% off your order. This is the best way to directly support new content on this channel, and also to outfit yourself and your friends for the holidays with some awesome gifts. I will see you over on the website, alexanderayling.com/store, SHEEP15 at checkout to get 15% off. Peace.